Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo. And you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? Got my man Tech Amaku in the building. What up, Tech?
What up? What up? Man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Just the backgrounds on StreamYard, they're not that good, man. Yours comes in real good, real clean. How you do that?
Oh, I have this what is this little camera, this little HD camera I got off of Amazon and shit. I think it was like 40, $50 or something.
No, not the camera. I'm talking about your whole background looks clean and sharp. Mine's all fuzzy.
I have a green screen back here, but I actually don't use the green screen. So I just have it, just smack it back there. That's why you see like my microphone, it'll come in and out.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
you just throw it on there, man. A virtual background.
Clean. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta use that next time. What's up,
Yes,
man? How
indeed.
you doing this night, man? What's the science, as they say
Little,
in
little,
Brooklyn?
little late night joint, man. Figured the notaries will be done with their day on this Monday. They probably ran crazy. They're probably thinking about some things, man. It's like, yo, how can I make this business better? They're probably thinking, yo, there's good money here. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my brother Andre Hatchett.
Shout out to Andre Hatchet.
Shout out. Wait, hold on. Let me add the applause on that. Let me shout out Andre Hatchett on that. The reason I wanted to shout out Andre Hatchett yesterday, I went out to Starbucks, met this beautiful melanated sister, braids just fly as hell. You know what I mean? She had like some really, really fly braids going on. And she was like, I recognize you from somewhere. She said, you're a notary, right? And I was like, yeah. Why, did I notarize something for you before? She was like, nah, I took Andre Hatchett's class. And
Wow.
you taught on the class. So I never forget a face. And, that call script thing that you were talking about was the thing that stuck out the most, right? So that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. Her thing was she did the loan signing thing with Mark Wills. Mark Wills, do your thing. Shout out to everybody that's fucking helping out people.
Yeah. Big up. Big up.
Shout out to everybody's helping out notaries that need help in the industry. So she took the Mark Wills course. She was rocking, doing her loan signing thing. She was not particularly happy with printing out a lot of paper, right? Which I understand, because then you have to print out 150 copies here, then another 150 copies for the client. And then she didn't do any scan backs, she said, but she would do the FedEx runs. She had landed a private client, which was called Old Republic or something. And she would, instead of doing the FedEx runs, she would just take it directly to the loan signing company. But here's the kicker. It's still another trip, right?
Right.
So she was like, man, I hated working with a lot of these, I guess it would be like a snap docs, because they would basically dictate to you the price that you would get. And you really can't negotiate that price at all. So you either take it or you leave it.
Yes, right.
But guess what was the number one objection, bro?
What's that?
Rejection.
Oh my gosh.
She did not like the rejection. That's why she appreciated the call script. What do you say about rejection? Because I believe right now, and it's been like this for a very long time, it is one of the most crippling fears that's killing not only the notary entrepreneur, but a lot of other businesses, where people just fear rejection. What do you say about that, bro?
Think about the time when you tried to. There was that girl in high school or middle school. You saw her walking down the street, and you told yourself, "The next time I will see her, I'm gonna talk to her." And you saw her walking, and you knew at that moment that was what you promised yourself. You told yourself, hey, the next time you saw her, you was gonna talk to her. And she even stopped and you didn't even go talk to her. You stopped and you froze, you paused. It was just the fear. And I say that because that happened to me. That's a real story.
Mm.
Like, next time I see her, I'm gonna talk to her. Next time, it's gonna be that time. She's gonna be by herself. But why didn't you do it? And translate that, I mean, a lot of people have been dealing with that their whole lives. And I can't blame you. It's hard to shake. It's something about it. What is it about it? I gotta be honest, man. I think, I mean, I've read all kind of studies about why people are so afraid of rejection. I wouldn't say it was the studies were based upon that, but I've read so much information about how rejection relates to what we've done as a, especially people who've coming up in the academic school system and people getting grades and being wrong on tests. You get 10 out of 10 or you get 2 out of 10, like you get penalized for getting things wrong, for doing it the wrong way. When in reality, it should be you learned what to say. You like that's what you should be graded upon. That's how you because that's how you learn.
Yeah.
By it's not what you got right or what you got wrong. It's the fact, it's the journey that how you arrived to that conclusion. And that's where you really grow as an individual. So I think that rejection just comes back like because you don't want to be told that you were wrong. You don't want to be told that what you thought was right was not. So man, that rejection, it's gotta be the biggest. How do you overcome it though? How do you get out of it? The call script, like the sister said in who saw you at the coffee shop.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what that call script is game changing. If you're not using the call script, I tell people all the time, man, the call script is what changed me.
You mentioned dating and rejection. I think I was just completely ignorant and naive to rejection when I was growing up, bro. You know what I mean? I was hitting on girls that I knew were way out of my league, way out. Like in high school, I remember distinctively this girl named Ebony, and I she obviously was dating drug dealers, 100%. Like it ain't too many girls coming in there with pelly pellies and stuff, right? So this a girl, not a dude with a pelly pelly.
Yeah.
So she had and I was like, damn, she is bad, right? And I hit on her, and she was like, look, dude, I am just way out of your league. Like, no.
She said that?
She said that. She said, look, actually, she wrote it on a letter, right? Because I slipped her a note or whatever.
Right.
I must have been on some kiddie shit, like, yo, you like me, check a box, some crazy shit in high school or something. She was like, look, I'm blunt, and I didn't even know what that meant. She's like, you cute and all, but I'm way out of your league. It's not gonna happen. And I remember walking into the gym, and she was in the gym, and I waved hi, and she was like, no. No. I was like, God damn. But I've always been like really ignorant to like rejection. But I did learn that rejection was a very real thing, right? Especially in business. Now, I've always wanted to get into sales. I always wanted to persuade, influence people. So I learned ways of making myself better and being able to um, brush rejection off of my shoulders. I'll try to give a couple of my tips, and Tex, if you could give some of your tips on how you combat rejection, that'd be great. So one of the first things that I did was I read books. Real talk. I went to Barnes and Noble. I got books like Zig Ziglar. That was probably my number one go-to, Zig Ziglar, and learned about closing. First, I learned about sales, but then my second book was how to close a sale. There's a big difference. because there are people that will get caught in the tornado of selling, right?
Yeah.
And you'll just be talking to people and like nothing gets closed, no transaction ever gets done. You just keep talking and talking and talking and talking, and you never go in for the kill. So my second book was The Art of the Close. That was a really good book at that time. I don't know how relevant it is now. And then one of the biggest tips that he said was record yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Radio Shack when there was Radio Shacks, and I bought a little, little thin recorder. And when I would go to the health club to sell memberships, I would hide the recorder behind like the computer or something, and I would listen to myself give my presentation, give my pitch. And then when I got home at night, I would listen to it and I'd be like, ooh, that was terrible. Like, why did I even say that? Like, damn, I sounded so nervous at that point. Or I'll say things that was completely embarrassing to the point where I was like, there's no way I would have bought from myself. So it helped me. And this is good for people that don't have someone to role play with. I was brand new to Chicago. I didn't know anybody like that. So I had to role play and sharpen my own skills. What do you do to help you sharpen your skills, Tech, with rejection sales?
Those are good. Those are great. The role playing is definitely key.
Mm-hmm.
The reading the books on how to sell, because there is a how, there's a science, which there are certain points that you kind of have to hit, and then there's the art, which is basically like your skill, your personality. You see, I always thought of myself as a funny person, but I don't think other people always like laughed. Well, let me tell you, keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a good student in school, and I wore glasses my whole time. I never got picked on. I wasn't one of those type of kids, but I always wanted to be the top of the class in terms of grades, and I never wanted to be the person who, when they spoke, people laughed.
Hmm.
I always wanted to be the person that when I spoke, people listened.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got a little bit older, I learned that when you're funny, it's almost like a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? When you can make people laugh and make people smile, you can like basically do whatever you want. And I'm even now when I understand that, I still keep it true to myself. I always want to be taken seriously, and I will crack a joke here and there, and I try to smile and laugh, and just kind of be my natural personality. But I think it wasn't until I really got into speaking to the public, like I'm naturally a friendly person. I'm not like super over the top serious. I'm just kind of giving you guys like a little peek into my real life right now, and I'm very friendly. I'm not petty or I'm not mean, not by nature. I've always been a happy person and just trying to do good for people. But what I learned was that when you are humorous, you throw in some humor is good. So fast forward to when I was in college and started working with like the public. And for those who don't know, I do have a background in medicine and in performance and things like that. So working with people, it makes, especially when people are injured or when they hurt, they're a little bit to make them at ease, you have to be a little bit humorous. Like I learned these are just techniques that maybe when you go to the doctors next time, you'll notice that the doctor that you work with, they try to smile, be friendly, things like that, especially if you have something serious going on. So that's something that I really picked up on. And so cracking little jokes here and there, even if they're silly, that's something that I use all the time. And if you've heard any of my videos, recording yourself, like you said, is one of the big, big, big ones. Hearing yourself, listening to yourself, listening to your tone, your cadence. Um, also, if you can probably hear it, I also have like this nasally thing about my voice that sometimes I speak a little bit fast, and sometimes people can't understand me. Sometimes I mumble a lot, so I have to slow down. It's really just a result of my mind. I got just so much stuff going through my mind, man. It's just so many thoughts and so many ideas, and my imagination is just crazy. So but at the same time, I like to laugh, and I think that stuff is funny that other people may not think is funny. So I try to throw in a lot of humor, and the rejection to try to overcome that. I try to make myself laugh, and I try to make myself smile, and and by virtue of that, the person who I'm speaking specifically about patients. Like when I work with patients, I would try to, a little bit of sarcasm because I think sarcasm is good in context, right? You don't make jokes about when things are serious, right? But when things are, oh, you slipped and fell and you're bleeding. Oh, where? I don't even see what scratch. I don't see that little baby thing. Like, sarcasm in context is always, I think, is always funny. So I try to use a little bit of all the things you mentioned, reading the books, definitely that helps. But nothing beats the real thing, man. Nothing beats when you're actually in front of somebody with money, with like they're paying you, and then also like talk about the medicine when you're working with a real rehabilitation patient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're really working with somebody. It's practicing is one thing, role playing is the one thing, but nothing beats live ammunition with real money on the line.
Hmm. It makes me think like because people freeze up, and you and I both know they freeze up on the pricing area, right? They're very good with guiding the phone call. Um, they'll take control of the phone call, and they'll guide the customer to where they need to go. But when it comes to that pricing, for whatever reason, there is like hiccups. They the big the big Bugs Bunny swallow, you know what I mean? Like you can hear it. Um and they freeze up.
Yeah.
There's so many thoughts that go in the notary's mind where they're like, okay, this person's about to ask me for the price. Should I ask for this number? And then their inner thoughts are arguing with them, be like, no, don't answer that number. You're gonna upset this person. Uh, drop your number. Okay, how much should I drop it? Like they're really negotiating with themselves. They're battling themselves on the pricing. Um, and the pricing, and I know for you too, Tech, it's like the least of our worries with the whole sales process. First, before we even get into pricing, we got to qualify you.
Yeah. Yeah. But what do you say when the first thing that comes out of the customer's mouth is how much is it? That's the one question. And you can lose that's something you talk about. Man, you got 5 seconds. You can lose the customer that fast. So you think about it, somebody call you and you do your greeting. Even if you have a greeting, right? You gotta have a greeting first. Let's say you do, and then the customer says, I just want to call and see how much it is. Or they say, or they cut you off and they say, how much? How much is it? Or they say, I'm just calling around, just trying to get some pricing. They got a myriad of ways to say it, a whole bunch of different ways. And then you could say the wrong thing right there and lose the customer. And that's what a lot of people are afraid of. There goes that rejection again. Well,
Mm-hmm.
number one, how many people just don't know what to say?
Yeah.
Right? They just don't know what to say. Should I say a price? Should I not say a price? And unfortunately, most people, what people do when customers say that, and I'm talking about the first thing out the customer's mouth is not hi, how are ya? Right? The first thing out their mouth is how much is it? And notaries, you have a bad tendency, very, very bad tendency of doing this. They do what they do. They pull out their little notary primer.
Mm.
They
Notary
open
prime.
it up. They open it up to page 62,
Mm.
and they say, according to
Mm.
California state law, I can charge $2 per signature and 70 cents per mile, and for printing I can charge $2. You lost the client.
Mm.
You lost them. The mistake that people make is that they start saying according to. See, here's the real issue, Tiger.
Mm.
A lot of notaries think that they went to law school, and I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, why are you quoting the law? Why are you citing articles and statutes in section 563 of the notary primer? Not like literally the law, right? But you're treating this like a law. You're quoting the law. When the customer, all they asked you was how much. And you make the mistake of, they didn't come here for a lesson in notary law and legal studies. They didn't come here for that. They just asked you how much is it. And it's a bad habit that notaries make. So instead of answering the question, you qualify them. Right, that would be the right answer, right? What would you do if somebody says, they just call you and they just say how much? Like, you qualify them.
Oh, I put them on ice. I put them on ice immediately.
Slow them down. Slow them down.
Yeah, here's the thing. I know there are people that get intimidated by other people's titles. Like if a person's calling from a law firm, a person's calling from a title company. There are many people that get intimidated by the company they represent and the title. The fact is this, you control the phone call. You control the phone call and it flows however you decide for it to flow. You're going to be dealing with a lot of different personalities. Aggressive personality, passive personality, introverts, extroverts, passive aggressive, and they'll try to control you if they can. So when a person calls me for price, I was like, that's no problem. I'll give you the price. But there are a few questions I have to ask you first. So I put them on ice. And then I go right into my script. And again, I knew that in order for me to maximize the dollars that I was going to make in the notary business, and then keep my phone calls as short as possible and be as efficient as possible, was I would have to have a call script. It is what it is.
Straight up.
Right. Because when I was taking phone calls before I develop a call script, I was all over the place. And customers will take me all over the amusement park. This is happening over here. This is happening. They would tell me things that was non-related to the actual situation. Telling me about their vacation, and they're like, "You're doing a power of attorney for your sister. What does that have to do with anything?"
Oh my God.
I think Jordan Belfort, he calls it the straight line selling process, meaning you have a goal from point A to point B. That's it. You're supposed to get the customer from point A to point B. The customer can tend to take you to off the line and take you to different planets and shit like Pluto, Saturn. And sometimes you being the person taking the sales call, you may take them to a different planet, Venus or whatever, right? So, but you have to get back on that straight line and then drive it home. So, yeah, I put them on ice and I reveal the price when I feel that I have delivered enough value and I've gotten enough information to qualify them. Then I hit them with the price.
Yeah.
because then I kind of like have for me, I feel like I have a leg to stand on when I do that. What about
Yeah.
you? I know your process is a little bit different.
Like I said, I try to. If somebody hits me, somebody throws that question out at me. All right, how much? Hey, I'm just calling to see how much it is. I just want to get a ballpark. People say all kind of different things, right? And I like, again, I know that humor works. I know that, and I learned this from you, pattern disruption, which is a term that I learned from you. And and again, that goes back to the whole role playing thing, and then also
Hmm.
having a mentor and just bouncing ideas off of people's head. But you always bring your own style into it. Always bring your own sauce, your own flavor. Me, it's always going to be. And I've learned I've gotten training from other industries and other areas. I've learned from other people. I try to, put the puzzle pieces together. And I just know, listen, the best way for me to do this is just to really be myself. So I'm a little bit of I'm just gonna throw something out at you and just see what happens because I know it's not the end of the world, right? I can
Right.
always bring it back. So people say that to me, you've seen the videos, I'd say 1 million off the top.
Hmm.
I don't know what else I could, it's 1 million. And then nothing.
Yeah.
And that always throws people off. And it's funny too because my wife always says, "Oh, I'll just hang up on somebody if they ever said that to me." and and I get what she's saying. I'll just hang up on somebody because if somebody's calling about something serious and then they're joking, you don't want to take them serious. Like you're like, "Oh, this person isn't for me." But
Hmm.
you'd be surprised, man. Out of the hundreds of times that I've done this, I've only been hung up on twice
Hmm.
ever. And again, if that person hangs up on you, you didn't want them anyway.
And what's the
You probably
natural
didn't.
reaction you normally get?
Oh, it's stunned. People are stunned. They're in complete disbelief. They they like say they repeat. It's like, wait, could you repeat that? Like, or they'll say 1 million, right? That they it's it is completely out of left field, totally unexpected. So I like to throw in the humor, and then I'll like depending on their reaction, if they say if I can sense that they're in disbelief, I'll take it even a step further. I'll
Hmm.
say, plus tax, of course, right? And then I'll gauge what their reaction is. They may laugh, but here's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home. We are trained professionals. We are, highly skilled individuals, and we've done this. Do not try this at home, right?
Yeah.
Watch somebody try it.
Don't feed the Jaguars.
You know somebody's gonna try it, right, Tiger?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then they're gonna get hung up on. They're like, that didn't work. See, tech lying, man. They lie. But you've heard me do it. It does work. But so let's say somebody, if if they're going along with it, I'll take it a step further and I'll say plus tax, right? So that's 1 million plus 1.1. But if they don't, then I'll say, of course, it's not $1 million. Let me get some information from you, and then is it okay if I ask you a few questions? And you say, yeah, of course. Or they'll say, oh man, oh, I think I'm gonna need a loan, or oh, I don't have that's
Yeah.
not in my budget. Right?
I look at it as it's a fantastic icebreaker because getting a person to lighten up, because a lot of times when they're calling for a notary is, let's be honest, sometimes a lot of times it's a stressful situation
Always.
going on, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get the person to just chuckle or just smile on the other line, and you can usually tell when the other person's smiling on the other line from something that you said, and you can help them relax a little bit and be like, okay, look, it's not that serious.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to make people think that, oh, I don't have Tech's personality. I don't have Tiger's personality. I can't do what Tech does. I can't do what Tiger does. I can't do it like that. You can. I just did it. Like you saw me, I just did it. I said it just like that, and I did it just like that. You can do it. Now, what I don't want you to do is start saying, "Oh yeah, I tell people $1 million." Ha 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 ha. Ha. You heard that from tech. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't do that because you know, hmm, let's have some integrity here, right? But we're sharing some ideas that help you overcome this fear of rejection, man. That's what we're here to do, and just letting try it, see what happens. And if somebody doesn't go for it, then all right, I know that this person's serious. So
Hmm.
let me stop beating around the bush. Let me go right into it. Let me get some information from you, sir. Are you signing the document? Right, I'll change my entire tone and delivery will change if they don't laugh at that. But if they do laugh at it, I know I got them. Oh, it's a wrap.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what? You know how we get, man. You know how we do on the phone.
But
We
I'll
sharp,
also
man.
tell them is for those listening, uh, we mastered the call script, and then and for those that don't know, you guys can grab the call script. I'll leave the link in the description before we jump off. But we mastered the call scripts first and foremost. Once we mastered these one pagers, it's not like it's like 20 pages, you guys. Like it's like, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a special ops one, right? Tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. There's two of them in there actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll have your pick of which one works for you. We'll put the link in the description for you to choose. Um, but you'll have these call scripts, and then wherever your personality shines the most, that's the one that you use. But also keep in mind, whichever one gets you the most money in the shortest period of time. I think that is the reward of it. Not only are you running your own business and you know how to handle the calls with confidence, but you're also getting paid up front, and you're able to shine your own personality through the call script, and then it just makes your job that much more enjoyable. Instead of like you're getting a phone call and be like, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah.
Or you're
Or you're
running away
scared.
from the phone.
Exactly. You're running from it. Right. You don't even want to answer. You don't look forward to it. You hit decline. And people do it's straight up. It's straight up, man. Spraying it all over the place. All I smell is money repellent.
Money repellent spray.
That's the premium kind too. Seriously, man. Yeah, on the opposite end of that, you look forward to it. You smile because you know you're getting ready to close another sale. And instead of getting, like you said earlier, man, you're getting these perpetual these sales conversations. It's literally like a conversation. It's
Hmm.
turning into just you and this other person just talking for 10 minutes. Mm.
Now, Tech, you got something coming up Friday, September 20th. What's going on?
Yeah, if you're watching this live, then good for you because you're in the right spot. But if you're watching this later on replay, no problem. Just make sure that you click below. This Friday, there is a free webinar that we're having for people who have this issue. If you struggle with phone calls, you struggle with answering the phone, just getting to the phone call because you either have a job, because you are, with your family or you're sleeping, you have another business, whatever reason, whatever's causing you to miss phone calls, well, there's an answer, there's a solution for that. And this Friday, we are demoing a brand new innovative technology that is going to allow notary publics to eliminate the 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 fear of not answering the phone and also missing out on appointments because they're losing every time you miss a phone call. You're losing out on the opportunity to either help a family and then also to help out your business. So this Friday there is a link down below, or you can go to drtek.com, drtek.com, and sign up for the webinar. It's
Yeah.
an hour long. It's just an hour. That hour, you should invest that 1 hour in your time and then learn how to use some of these innovative, evolving technologies so that your notary business, because mortgage rates are coming down now, that's going to increase a lot of home buying, things like that. But what happens when the mortgage rates go back up again? Because just like last time, it put a lot of people out of business. It put a lot of notaries. They had to, close up their doors for good. So let's not let's not let that be you this time. And the way to do that is to stay on the cutting edge, stay up to date. Just like people update their wills, update the technology. This Friday, uh, go to the link, sign up for it, and invest in yourself. And it's just an hour long. You'll be happy you did.
Yeah. The link is in the description on YouTube, you guys. And then we'll also put the link for you to access the call script as well. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy the rest of your night. You heard?
Thanks.
Okay, I need you to take him. He just threw up.